Welcome to Estero Today, produced by Engage Estero. I'm your host, Mike Wasson, and today I have some good news for you. It's good news about our environment. No, it's not some grand study on carbon pollution or clean air. I'm talking about our environment where we live right here in Estero. In fact, I have three good news stories. The first is adopt a highway. How many pounds of bag litter do you think was picked up this summer? Huh. Well, stay tuned and I'll tell you the numbers. Secondly, an update on the septic-to-sewer program. We are making progress, but more work is needed and planned. Finally, I'll speak about how we can help nature help us. Why do red mangrove trees make such an important difference in southern Florida? Stay tuned to learn how we in the Greater Estero area are making a difference in the environment that we live in. So, first off, I'm pleased to report that enthusiasm and pride in our community is alive and well. Since 2020, Julie Yelling and many volunteers have kept our environment pristine and a special place to live. Road adoption programs or picking up litter on a regular walks is an important part of our vision to create a beautiful and environmentally healthy estero. 5 years ago, the idea to clean up our roads stemmed from Julie's feeling that there was a need for our community to do a better with litter prevention and removal. On the weekend, on this past weekend of October 18th, the volunteers were at it again. Since their summertime pickup began last April and through the October 18th date, they have collected 600 pounds of bagged litter. Would you believe it? 600 pounds of litter. That's almost a third of a ton, and it would fill a large portion of a junk removal truck. In fact, since the start of the program in October 2020, the total tonnage of litter collected is a staggering 12.5 tons. The volunteers in this past October weekend represented the communities of Rapala, Pelican Sound, River Creek, Bellaterra, Copperleaf, The Vines, Estero Point, and River Woods. A huge thank you to everyone who took part. Also, over the last 5 years, the marathon Dos Amigos Authentic Mexican Grill has chosen to provide water and ice for the volunteers. They have agreed to do so again this year. Engage Estero's management deeply appreciates this continued support for the volunteers who help with litter collection along Highway 41. Thank you. We also want to thank the volunteers in all of the community neighborhoods who participated in related programs or simply who picked up litter during regular walks. Everyone's efforts make a difference and are part of a vision for a beautiful and environmentally healthy Estero, a place which sets us apart from other municipalities. And I have more good news for you. The Village of Estero staff and council continue working on utilities expansion. That's improvements in potable water and sanitary sewer systems. Formerly known as the Utilities Expansion Program, many commonly refer to it as the septic-to-sewer program of converting septic tanks to village sewer lines. The village here is focused on three goals. First, clean up the Estero River, addressing the worst areas first. Second, use grant funding to keep costs as low as possible for residents and owners. Now, sometimes by waiting for grants to be approved, this has caused delays. And finally, officials want to be as transparent and keep the project out there in front of people so that they're aware of what's going on. So let's take a look. What has been done? Well, there's lots. Construction plans and estimates have been prepared and community meetings held. Grant applications have been made. Discussions have been held with Lee County Utilities and FP&L. Multiple permits prepared, and as more information becomes available, plans have been revised and updated. Right-of-ways have been secured for pipes and easements for pumping stations. The cost of all this is a moving target. Until we can finally come together with all the information and a contract can be awarded for construction. Total costs include engineering designs, permits, right-of-way, and easement acquisitions. Finally, you have to have signed contracts and inspections. The village staff is working to provide a total cost and a per unit cost for two communities right now, Cypress Bend and Sunny Grove. Then the village will determine what the village funding should be and for what portion of the project. The cost to convert these two communities to a sewage collection is expected to be significantly less than other communities, as these communities already have infrastructure that connects to each lot in these communities. Now, both of these communities, Cypress Bend and Sunny Grove, have used a package wastewater treatment plant for sewage, but both systems are old and failing. This past summer, Wright Construction was issued a construction notice to proceed, and efforts are in progress to get FP&L to connect pump stations to electricity. Shovel in the ground work will begin to and follow soon. This information and more details are available in an article at the website www.esterotoday.com. That's www.esterotoday.com. Regarding the grants, the village staff and council members are working with hired lobbyists to secure as many grants as possible. They include a 21.9 million grant requested through the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program. Now, this is a complicated but significant project. I give the village lots of credit for taking on this project to clean up the environment, especially the Estero River. It seems to be taking a long time, but their efforts to get grant funding make this a much more cost-effective project for the Estero community and especially for individual owners. The good news is the village council and management are diligently working on something significant for our environment, meaning Estero's environment, meaning the Estero River and Estero Bay. Finally, let's talk briefly about the red mangrove trees. Engage Estero is working with an FGCU professor of an English composition class. Her students are writing compositions on subjects of interest to the Greater Estero area, and as a public service to our audience, we are sharing these compositions with readers of our e-newsletters and also put these stories on our website. A recent submission by students Tanner Posey and Olivia Neild really caught my attention. I'm compelled to share some of their composition, but I encourage you to go to our website to see the full story. They write that red mangroves buffer and withhold the rising sea levels caused by major hurricanes hitting the coast. Red mangroves withstand erosion to the beaches, and they take in carbon dioxide from the air. They are a purifying agent, in effect. Conservation efforts like Adopt a Mangrove were started in 2020 along the coastlines of Fort Myers and Sanibel Island. These mangrove seedlings turn into sturdy 10 feet tall trees which help stabilize and secure shorelines. They protect people's property from future disasters and provide habitats for fish and birds, as well as providing good water quality. This is a great example of what can be done environmentally for Greater Estero area. It's a great step to improve the community and the environment that we live in. Thanks, Tanner, and thanks, Olivia, for researching and sharing this information with us. It's good news. In fact, Adopt a Highway programs, the septic-to-sewer projects, and planting red mangrove seedlings are all good news stories about local residents being serious and doing positive things to improve the environment in the Greater Estero area. Thanks to all the volunteers that make this happen. And thank you for joining us this week at Estero Today. We hope you have found the information interesting and helpful. If so, please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the bell icon. And we encourage you to share this podcast with your friends. Comment below or email us with your ideas for future podcasts. The email address you can reach us at is info@esterotoday.com. That's info, I-N-F-O, at esterotoday.com. Produced by Engage Estero. This is your host, Mike Wasson, wishing you a good week and hoping you can join us next week for more news on Estero Today.